Dozens of rockets fired by militants hit southern Israel this evening as Israeli warplanes continue to target terrorists in the Gaza Strip. The US denounces the rocket fire and acknowledges Israel's right to defend itself. And Israeli politicians flock to East Jerusalem in order to pay respect to the family of the murdered Palestinian teen. Good evening. You're watching i24 News. I'm Shachar Peled with our top stories. Dozens of rockets have been fired at southern Israel this evening, reaching as far as 80 kilometers into the country. Red alert sirens were heard in every single populated area located within 40 kilometers of the Gaza Strip, and residents were ordered to stay within 15 seconds of bomb shelters. The Iron Dome anti-missile system intercepted 12 rockets and mortars, with the rest landing in open spaces. One man reportedly was lightly injured. The military wing of Hamas, the Izzadin al-Qassam Brigade, has claimed responsibility for the recent barrage of rockets. Throughout the day, the Israeli Air Force struck targets in Gaza, including underground rocket launchers and a tunnel that was built to carry out terror attacks against Israeli civilians. At least 6 known Hamas operatives were killed in the strikes, and according to Israeli media, the IDF is preparing for a significant response to the ongoing rocket launches. And Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas urged the international community to intervene and put an immediate end to what he called Israeli attacks on Gaza. Meanwhile, the American State Department condemned the latest attack on Israel, stating it fully supports Israel's right to protect itself. Secretary of State John Kerry called Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu and asked from both sides to exercise restraint. Meanwhile, the Israeli cabinet is preparing for an escalation in Gaza. Recently, we spoke with i24 News diplomatic correspondent Tal Shalev from the Prime Minister's office in Jerusalem.
The Israeli Prime Minister is sitting here in Jerusalem getting ongoing consultations and security briefings, while his Defense Minister Moshe Ya'alon is at the Defense Ministry headquarters in Tel Aviv doing the same. And since the afternoon, the Israeli government has been preparing for escalation following a very significant cabinet meeting in which the Israeli cabinet ministers decided to expand the Gaza operation and to expand the Gaza airstrikes following the ongoing rocket fire from Gaza into Israel. So at the end of this meeting, the Israeli cabinet starts to communicate the message, one, that the operation will be expanded, not engaging in a full-scale ground operation, but definitely enlarging the bank target of Hamas in Gaza, and that it is drafting 1,500 military reserves to get ready for the worst-case scenario. And since then, this has been the message that has been conveyed to the Israeli public, and at the same time to the Hamas and to the Gaza residents. The General Yoav Mordechai, who is the coordinator of the Israeli military and government forces in the Palestinian territories, gave interviews to 3 substantial Arab-speaking TV channels broadcasted worldwide, saying to Hamas, warning Hamas that this is the last warning. And since then, the situation has escalated very rapidly. The Hamas has launched, as we said, dozens of rockets into Israel, and the Israeli cabinet, the Israeli leadership, the Israeli Prime Minister, and the Israeli Defense Minister are definitely on guard following the developments, and we will continue to update you from here at the Prime Minister's office in Jerusalem as the developments continue.
And Eli Ochenberg, i24 News correspondent who is in Sderot near the Gaza border, reports from there.
Well, Shachar, the rocket firing continues after a very intensive night here in southern Israel. We still hear every couple of seconds another red siren alert going off, another interception by the Iron Dome system. So it's still going on. It doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon, and we can only imagine what will happen during the night. We know that the Israeli security forces are arrayed enraged over what we've seen tonight. We can't remember this intensive night since Operation Pillar of Defense, and it's definitely a major turning point in this entire operation. As for now, as said, we still have rockets being launched towards Israel. We will not have school or summer camps tomorrow in southern Israel. It is now no longer a normal routine here. The southern Israel is getting ready to a war state of mind, and we just feel it here in the atmosphere. You have no people just wandering around in the street. They are all at home getting prepared to further escalation, and we will of course keep you updated. But as for now, it seems like we're heading towards the next step of this operation.
Well, Eli, the rockets now seem to have become the routine. Are people there fearful or indifferent in Sderot?
Well, the residents of Sderot and other southern cities and towns here are calling on the government to stop the policy of restraint. And we've heard this change of policy from Israeli officials earlier today, but they are demanding a forceful reaction, not to let things stay that way. And they want to see the Israeli government acting more aggressively, and it will probably be what we will see in the upcoming days.
Eli Ochenberg in Sderot, thank you very much and stay safe. Now, this morning, i24 News correspondent Matthias Inbau went to a town near the Gaza border, an area exposed to rocket and mortar fire, but not yet protected by the Iron Dome system. In areas like this, as across Israel's south, the IDF refrains from notifying exactly when and where a rocket hits to avoid further fire in the same area. Here's the story.
Here, close to the Gaza border, the worst was avoided on Monday morning. A Qassam rocket from the Gaza Strip slammed into a residential area. The impact caused massive property damage, but no reported casualties.
This morning, 7 o'clock, I was awoken by a very, very loud bang. I did hear a few seconds before that Tseva Adom, so there was the warning.
In this kibbutz close to the Strip, the Iron Dome anti-missile defense system is ineffective. Residents are left with only shelters to protect themselves and rely on assistance from local authorities.
We are now applying emergency measures. We are at the disposal of the residents and ready to respond to their needs. They can now turn to psychologists and social workers. These people are here to take care of the children during the summer vacation. It is an absolutely unusual situation.
At the scene, some political figures came to comfort the residents and to send a warning to the Palestinian factions firing rockets from the Gaza Strip.
You should know our restraint policy won't last forever. The Prime Minister and his government keep following the latest developments. We may eventually give the green light to a large-scale intervention against Hamas, but hopefully we won't have to go that far.
Soldiers have come to boost security in these locations close to Gaza, but in the near future they could be called on to do more across the border.
And various Israeli politicians, both Jewish and Arab, visited the Shuafat home today of Mohammed Abu Khdeir. Among those paying their respects were parliament members including Amir Peretz, Ahmed Tibi and Hanin Zouabi. Parliament member Miki Rosenthal was joined by former opposition leader Sheli Yachimowicz, who conveyed this message to the murdered boy's father.
We share your grief and hurt. We identify with you and hope and pray for peace, equality between all humans, and that such cruel and terrible acts will not be repeated.
And earlier this evening, Racheli Frankel, the mother of murdered Israeli teen Naftali Frankel, spoke outside of their home in Nof Ayalon about the pain they and the family of Mohammed Abu Khdeir share.
No mother or father should go through what we are going now. And we share the pain of the parents of Mohammed Abu Khdeir. The legacy of the life and death of Naftali, Eyal and Gilad is a legacy of love, of humanity, of national unity. Alongside the pain we feel over this horrendous deed, we're very proud of our government, our country, that we're diligent to investigate, to arrest, and to stop these criminals. We truly hope that very soon the peace and calm will come back all over our country. Thank you.
Yes, that's all for now. Thank you very much for joining us here on i24 News. You can join us on Facebook, our Twitter, and that's all for tonight. Thank you very much. I'm Shachar Peled. Have a good evening.